Hi, I'm Jason, the garden assistant here at Gorman Farm, and today we're going to talk about transplanting plants from the germination station, which is our propagation greenhouse, out here to the field so that we can begin the production season. We've identified three big steps, I suppose, for doing that, and the first is maybe the most important and the one that people do the least, I would say, and that is hardening off. Hardening off is a transition period where the plant goes from the cozy confines of the propagation greenhouse to the less forgiving conditions of nature, the field. Hardening off generally is best done in a shady area so that the plant is not feeling the full effects of the sun and the wind and the elements and can kind of slowly transition into that. Any period of hardening off is better than none. It could last anywhere from 1 day to 2 weeks. Our plants here at Gorman Farm have the benefit of starting out in our propagation greenhouse, so they get a little bit of hardening off per se just by being in that greenhouse. So if you're transplanting at home, especially if you've started seeds indoors under lights, that is a much different environment than what they will experience outside in the field. So it's an even more important step if you're doing this at home, I'd say. Step two is probably obvious on some level, but it's site preparation. Of course, that means all the standard soil prep moves, which are freeing the surface, clearing the surface of weeds, breaking up and loosening soil, particularly if it's compacted or it's been since last winter and you haven't had the chance to really get that soil worked up. That all needs to be done ahead of time, and that'll certainly make the process of putting the plant in the ground that much easier, of course. For tomatoes especially, which are behind me to my right here, we pre-dig all of our holes, and that allows us to kind of get our process going early. We plant 300 tomato plants out here in the market garden, so pre-digging your hole is not a bad idea. What that also allows us to do is add amendments directly to the hole as we plant. What we add to our tomato plants here at Gorman is a quarter cup of Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, and a quarter cup of organic granular fertilizer, Revita Pro, which is chicken manure based and a complete fertilizer, organic fertilizer. So we add that directly to the hole, and then step three, of course, is placing the plant in the hole. Tomatoes are unique. They are one of the plants that probably can and should be planted much deeper than most people realize, and most people do for that matter. Tomato plants, if you break off the bottom set of branches, they will actually grow adventitious roots from those bud sites. So you'll get a fuller root production for the plant. You'll get it deeper into the ground where it has more access to that lower groundwater, and ultimately a sturdier, healthier plant in the long run. After we've put our tomatoes in the ground, we do a heavy leaf mulch, which there's a lot of theories on mulching and which mulch is best. We use leaf mulch, shredded leaf mulch that's been aged, primarily because that's what we have the most access to. So I would recommend, of course, exploring your own resources and using what you have most access to, but you could use anything from pine shavings, shredded leaves, hay or straw, even grass clippings. Dried grass clippings can make a good mulch. And then the final step is an extremely important one, and that is to water in your plants. And we do this for crops that are direct seeded, and we do them, of course, for transplants especially. Watering in your plants helps settle them into the soil. It helps create good contact between the roots and the soil, and it, of course, gives them a good drink to start out with, especially when you find yourself transplanting closer to the heat of the summer, as we are now. So I hope this gives you a few things to think about as you transplant your own plants into your garden at home. We hope you have a wonderful transplant season. We're actually getting to the end of it here as June approaches. We've got a few more things that need to go out into the field, so we're not quite done yet, but pretty soon it'll be happy harvesting, and we wish you the best of luck with your plants.